Hello everybody, how's it going? My name is McDude. Welcome to the first Legacy DXBoard 2 tutorial video. Now this tutorial is going to cover DXBoard, but we also need to cover the patch as well. So I say Legacy DXBoard 2 because there's also the 20th anniversary edition as well that's on Steam. But we're going to go back in time and we're going to play an older version of the game. So if you don't have this link just yet, which I will post in the description, there will be a link that will be available to go to the DXBoard 2 editor tools, where you'll see 4 folders and a zip folder. We also have this document here that says DXBoard 2 tools, which is something I ended up writing real quick. So you can learn everything about what each of the tools ends up doing by taking a look at the document. But for my tutorial, I just want to go over DXBoard. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start with the DXBoard 2 patch part. So this will allow people who play with the legacy DXBoard 2 the ability to play with more than 4 boards in a custom board set. It is usually locked to 4 boards by default, regardless of when you have purchased a board pack. This works as long as you are replacing the exe file for DXBoard 2 1.25. And I have the link provided here, so you can just click on that and it'll go to the Wayback Machine. And once that's done, you can go ahead and run it. All right, so welcome to the installer. So next, I agree. Why not add a shortcut? Now, let's go back here real quick, because we need to look at DXBoard. And I mostly want to focus on this here. Installs an exe into the DXBoard 2 folder. Now notice this folder name. This is going to be important. So we will have the ability to check out 0.10b, but we'll also check out 0.80. But the thing is, I need to install DXBoard 2 into the folder with this name. So I'm going to quickly change some things with the directory. So I'm gonna put this under program files x86 instead, and put it under the DXBoard 2 folder. Okay, and when that's done, check if the game launches. If it does, test to see if any of the board sets work. Looks like it's working just fine. Okay. Now, if you're wondering about what the patch does, yes, of course, as I have mentioned, it will allow you to play more than 4 boards. So, to give you proof, let's go ahead and actually get the oldest version of DXBoard that is available for us. 0.10b. So I will extract this. And we've got DXBoard, DXBoard TXT, which is just a README file, and some extra board set files as well. So I'm going to open DXBoard. So straight away, we're put into the editor. And we have Shumish McNally's brick set automatically chosen for us. But Where are my custom bricks? Good question, because that actually is not a thing. In this version of DXBoard, there are no cases where you're able to use any different kinds of graphics. So if you want to check out some of the examples that were provided, you can. So you can just open them up, open the boards folder, and you can just open up the sets that were created. And yes, there are currently 5 here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these, and let's go to where we downloaded DXBoard 2 and installed it into. So I had it set up as a quick access already, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click on here. Oops, sorry, the boards folder. So I'm just going to right click in here, click on paste. So once I pasted everything, then we should have our 5 BDS files. So now if we launch our game, where are my sets? Well, we can fix that. In order to fix that, we actually need to download the patch. So let's go back here and let's download the patch. So from here, what you need to do to get the patch set up is just cut it and then go to your DXBoard2 game, the folder where it resides, and basically just paste it in here, which will replace the exe that currently exists. And once you do that, if you run it, it should look a little bit like this. Also, looks like we have our boards as well as the patch applying already right off the bat. So just a bit of context, if you were to download and install a different version of DXBoard 2, like if you were to download anything newer, it likely wouldn't end up reading these BDS files. But with the version that I patched it with, it allowed us to look at these particular boards. So I'm just going to create a basic board that just something completely random. So let's just go ahead and I'm just going to spam a bunch of flame bricks here on this entire board. So honestly, I'm not feeling very creative. So you can do whatever you want with your boards. And you can, of course, add another board if you would like. So I'm just going to make another one where it's just this box here has just because I feel like it. And once we're done, we can save this. I'll just call it example. Now, we need to also specify the name, so I'm going to do DXBoard 0.10b example and my name. One thing that I also have to mention is that when we were looking at the setboard background, which I don't know if we did, but if you haven't noticed, you have to enter a number in here. So I'm going to use background 14 for the first one, and I will use background 11 for the second one. Now we'll save it. And yeah. So we've made our set, so let's go ahead. I'm going to cut this, and I will put it with our other boards that we made. And if we launch our patched version again, yeah, here's my set right here. So proof that it works is that I've got the background and I've also got all of these exploding bricks. Wow, I'm so good at this game, am I right? So, and then move on to our next board. And that's that. So we've completed all the boards. So that's with using DXBoard 0.10b. Now, let's go ahead and use the more modern version that everyone would probably be the most familiar with, especially when it comes to the graphics, 0.80. So it just comes with the setup executable. So I'm just going to download this. Now I will run it. So DXBoard. So yeah, like I've mentioned, it will install it into the DXBoard2 folder, and it will specifically install that into this folder. So if you were to change the directory to anything else, it's still going to install it into that specifically named folder. And once you're done, you should see this. So now I don't need this open. So if you've installed it right, you should see DXBoard exe. And you should also see the virtual nupper, or here, virtual nupper rev2, just currently sitting on standby here. Well, what you can do with this is you can open them up by going to DXBoard exe. Now, this is where the fun part is. So when you open it up, you're prompted if you want to make a new set, if you want to load an old set, or just if you know what I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll load up a set here. So let's go ahead and load this up. So this also is using Shumish McNally's set. And we can also view the background too. Nice. You can also see that the editor is a little bit different here as well. So the remove brick or eraser brick has been moved here, and the same thing with the special brick. But now we can go to this one here, innocent bystander rev1, and you can see that there are some more unique graphics here. So these ones were custom made by Nopper themselves. And yeah, so now you're actually able to make a real board. You can also change the brick set if you'd like. And you can even change the background. And of course, the background set, which you should be able to also find. It specifies it at least somewhere here. Ah, silly me. Choose background file. There we go. Oopsies on me. So, what I'm going to do now is let's go ahead and let's check these sets out. See if they run in the game. So yep, this one works just fine. And this one opens fine too. Completely playable. But yes, I think you get the idea a little bit there. Now, to show you that it actually works, let's go ahead and make a set. So I will use Shimish McNally's bricks here. Again, I'm also going to enable the background to be viewed. So we'll just do that for board 1. Select the board background. Let's select a background. Let's use Felipe's background set. We've got a handful of backgrounds here. So I'm going to use this one. Okay, so that's my first set, or first part of the set done. I would like to add a second one now, so I'll just do this. And I will set the background to this one for fun. And there we go. So I'm going to save this as example 080. So the board set name, I'm going to put as DXBoard 0.80 example. And you can also notice that there is a text file to display upon completion of the board set. Now, this is something that's relatively new-ish. So what you can do is if you want to make a text folder or text file, you can go ahead and do this by going ahead. If it doesn't allow you to make a txt file, then you can go ahead and just right-click and make one on your desktop. And I will promptly get back to you in a moment. Okay, so yeah, I had to make the text document outside because admin privileges prevented me from putting it inside the DXBoard 2 game. But I made the text folder, or made the text file outside, and then I just put some stuff in and then just set it up in here. So I'm just going to go and use example end, press OK, and I saved it. So let's open it up. And here we have the DXBoard with Felipe's background as well. So I can still play this as normal. So, and I'm sure you're probably curious about why you have to take a newer version of DXBoard 2 and downgrade it. It's because of the way some files are supported. So that way, since all the files that we have set up here have been completely supported, the editor will be able to work just fine. I guess to put it in a little bit better English, essentially, I'm trying to replace a similar version to an older version because of the way that some of the files have been supported. Because in the initial part of the installation, when we got 1.25, it only registered the BDZ files. However, with the downgrade I made via that patch to 1.2, we were able to actually see the board sets that were under BDS. And here's the example. Oh, it looks like some of it got cut off too. So, well done. You have created this example set for DXBoard 0.80, created by Nupper. Hopefully I spelled that correctly. This is here to show the player a message when they finish playing the entire set. There is one little thing that you need to keep in mind when making these extra text files, and that is to create a blank line at the end of the document so the message doesn't get cut off. Anyway, hopefully you liked this tutorial. If you thought the guide was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If the guide was not helpful, give it a thumbs down. Without further ado, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!